Hey Brett, I hope you and your whole family are doing well, inshallah. So something happened today and I decided to write to you. Back in September 2009, I received a stop sign violation which was appropriate, but while at it, Officer Gonzalez decided he would write me 2 more tickets for no reason, which brought the total tickets to 3. So today was my hearing, and mind you, whenever I'm guilty, I just plead guilty and pay even if I get points, which I have 9 at the moment. Laugh out loud. So I am standing there in front of the judge. The officer starts off telling the judge what happened, and before finishing, he added an amazing thing to say which blew my mind away. He stated that when he handed me the tickets, I told the officer, "You gave me tickets because I am Muslim." The blood rushed to my head, and I'm thinking to myself, what the F? Then I remember that the day I received the ticket, it was a Muslim holiday, Eid, and I was wearing shalwar kameez, Pakistani outfit. So he figured it out that I am a Muslim, and he can use that against me somehow. I told the judge he's lying, but besides that, I pleaded guilty to the stop sign violations while the judge dropped the other 2 violations because of not enough evidence. Can you just imagine the kind of racism that goes on in this country? Mind you, I've never been in a situation like this before, and especially from authority. It pissed me off so much it ruined my whole day. This country is so done when the cops have to use such statements to make their case. Keep doing what you're doing, and you are and doing God's work. It seems like worst is ahead for us Muslims. It isn't just Muslims who are being treated like dogs by police officers. I have an uncle on 4th of July who was lighting fireworks off in an area where you're not supposed to light fireworks off. He's like 65 years old. The police officer gets out and not just writes him a ticket, but grabs him by the throat and starts choking him. The cop gets away with it, and this guy wasn't a Muslim, anything like that. Being in a position of power is really, really tough on people's brains. Look at Hollywood celebrities, how miserable their lives are despite how good it looks that they have. Police officers have so much power, they are so much more likely to beat their wives and have miserable relationships because they've got too much power. Parents have tons of power over their kids. You know who has a lot of power? Religious leaders. They got people constantly coming to them. And I'll tell you, I've never been treated so shabbily as by some of the top religious leaders. And I've met some religious leaders, some big, powerful religious leaders. Some of them have been wonderful. But even some leaders of like big churches that have, or synagogues or whatever, that have a big following, these guys turn into monsters. And I talked to this one guy who was running this one religious organization, and he told me that that was the personality that people in his situation had, and it was okay for him to be rude and cruel and any way he wanted to act outside of the parameter of his lovely persona at the place of worship. Another thing, people with money have to watch out. I know from experience that when you got money, people have a tendency to think you're right. They tend to agree with you even when they don't agree with you because they don't want to make you mad, and it inflates your ego and it makes you a horrible person to be around. That's part of the reason why I needed to get cancer in order to make me sick, to humble me, to bring me down a few notches so I could be a decent human being. It's really true. And talking about prejudice and police officers, there's a movie that says it so well, and it shows some intricacies of racism and with police officers. It was an award-winning movie in America called Crash. Have you seen Crash? It has a scene in it, like a sex scene. I want to let you know that it does have that in it. If you've watched Crash, I'd love to know what you think about it because it portrays racism in one way, and then later there's another way of looking at that same racism. And sometimes people act in a racist way, not because they're purely racist, just because they're angry and mean, and racism is just one of the outlets for which they exert and project their aggression. I believe this man who sent me this letter, and I think that what he says happened to him. It really did. What do you think about it? And has something like this happened to you?